Hello there everybody, this is Alex from Hardcorian Guides, bringing my guide for Ninja Gaiden Sigma on Master Ninja difficulty. Today we're doing Chapter 6, The City of Fiends. And we just got done doing the first of 3 Rachel chapters, and that's where we started meeting the Fiends for the first time. And now we are going right back to playing Ryu, and the first thing you're going to want to get is obviously getting the talisman out of the chest. Now, I want to let you guys know right now, this is a warning. Save the talisman as long as you can. When Chapter 9 comes around, you have to fight Alma. And the whole chapter, just try your best to save it. If you die, start over. Just start over. I highly recommend it. Because if you can't buy another talisman, you're fucked. Well, I beat her without it, but I'm just saying, like, you know, that's the main key thing to be careful of there is just, you know, heads up that you're going to have to fight her pretty soon, and you got to keep this talisman that long. It's kind of silly. So anyway, we have to fight off a few more ninjas here. Nothing really too troublesome. I mean, you can run away from the fight if you wanted to. You don't actually have to fight them. You get a Life of the Gods in the chest that we just met back there. Nothing too extravagant. Of course, you know, the only thing we actually got was a Talisman of Rebirth, which was nice. Also, quick tip. If you want to start the game over, I think you have to, like, hold... It's like hold, start, and select at the same time, or something like that. Like, you have to either pause it and do it, or you have to just keep clicking it in. But just keep trying to click both at the same time, and eventually you'll just go back to the main menu. So, if you die with the talisman, and you want to start over, and you don't want to have to, you know, restart your entire system, then just do that. There is a quick quit mode in the game that I recently discovered. Well, I knew about it, I just didn't know if it worked in this one. So anyway, once we get out of here, just go ahead and cast Nimbo. Typically, after the end of every chapter, you do get your Nimbo back and full health back. So you should at least have 2. There's no doubt in my mind. Unless you used it on the other guys, which I don't see why you would. But after using it, you can, of course, come right over here and pretty much get it right back. So, you know, in this entire city, you don't need to worry about Nimbo or health, really. I mean, if you really needed it that bad, you could just come back here and, you know, get it back. So, it's not too troublesome, really. Alright, anyway. Now that that's all said and done, let's go ahead and head out of here. And what we're pretty much, I think, heading toward is... We're heading toward where Rachel left off at, where the monastery was. So that's the key idea that I'm going for there. Or the key place I'm heading toward. So if that gives you any idea or any indication of where I'm going, then there you go. Because, like, these chapters don't exactly, like, explain where to go. And I played the game enough to where I actually, like, know off the... I pretty much know where to go off the dead hand, you know. I familiarized myself so much with this, it's ridiculous. By the way, you can avoid this fight anytime you want. This is just an optional fight. And they usually appear after you leave the screen and come back, so... If you don't want to fight them, you don't have to. Again, you don't have to do everything I do, but that's completely up to you. Now, when it comes to mandatory fights, of course I'm going to try to give you the best advice that I possibly can. So now I'm going to head back into the Muramasa shop here. And I forget what I buy. I think I buy like a couple of elixirs. Because I think we had a fight last time we met or something. I don't remember. Luckily I had just enough scarabs to get me, you know, a freebie. So that's the thing too. Like once you hit, like for every, I think 5 or so. Or it's either 5 or 10. I think it starts off like every 5. No, maybe it is every 5. Well, anyway, for every set amount of scarabs, of course, Muramasa is going to give you a item for it. And there are key items, not really key items, but there are items that he will give you that are Master Ninja mode only. So, and when we get those, I'm going to try my best to keep them as long as I possibly can. Not because, like, they're the best thing ever, but, you know, you can never get them back. They're just like a one-time use, and that's it. So, anyway, once we arrive in this room, take these guys out. Not really too troublesome. Again, as soon as you drop at your friend here, like the best, you know, easily the best thing you can do the entire game. The Zuna drop just saves your ass. So much trouble. So now this is the beginning of heading toward the monastery. And I've actually, I remember this place so damn much because I was doing this grind fest over and over and over again. Which I fought, I beat Alma, and then I grinded up a bit to go fight off the knights to get the Dabble Haro in Chapter 10. And then, you know, the way back is this way. So, I kept seeing that way every time. And I also had to fight the boss for Chapter 10. And it was ridiculous. Yeah, you have to fight 2 bosses in a row, practically. So, get ready for that. Of course, the Chapter 10 boss is a returning boss who's a little bit harder than his first counterpart in Chapter 3. So now, those guys you can avoid again if you actually get out of this area right here. Like, once you run out completely, they despawn. But whenever you run back into that hallway, they respawn in that hallway. So keep that in mind. You can actually despawn them. You can run away from them. It's not too hard. I typically do, but sometimes I just feel like fighting there because, like, what's the point? So these guys I just avoid altogether. I don't have any need to fight them. If you want to, by all means, go ahead. You know, you can use Nimpo. You can go back to Hans Bar and go recharge your Nimpo if you really needed it, or, you know, hopefully maybe even get it off these guys. But I don't really care too much, so just like, screw them. You know, they're just motorcyclists. Of course, you could do the charging, you know, triangle attack, or you don't even have to, like, charge it fully to even, you know, do the dashing attack for it. So, which is good. I love how they do that in the game. You know, thank God for that. It actually is kind of useful, funny enough. As much as it seems like it's not, it actually is. So anyway, that door is breakable by either Rachel and or Incendiary Shurikens, or, you know, Rachel's Warhammer, practically. That's what I'm saying. So we will be coming back to that later, in a later chapter. And unfortunately, we can't do it in Chapter 10, because it is undertaken by military grunts, and they block off the doorway, which is, I think, stupid, but that's just what the game does. So anyway, the camera did pan right here, so that's a pretty good way to tell that, hey, there are enemies in that room, so be very careful on these guys. Again, you can run away from them, but I chose to fight them because they were in the way. And knowing how Ninja Gaiden is with its lock-on system, I decided not to take that risk and try to go open up the door that I needed the key for, which is practically in this room. So I just go ahead and utilize the Azuna drop the best I can. Of course, you could do an OTG, you know, off the ground attack into an Azuna drop if you wanted to. So that's, like, whenever you slam them on the ground, you can do that. So that's completely up to you guys. How you take them out is up to you. If you do it my way or your own way, that's fine. You know, just I'm trying to help anybody that might need it. So yeah, I know I keep saying, like, every episode, but I have to make it known that that's what I'm trying to do. Like, I'm not trying to, like, persuade anybody doing something that they can't or won't do. So anyway, after you unlock that lever, you don't have to save it. Do it if you want. I mean, I didn't really have any need to because it wasn't too far from the checkpoint anyway, so it's fine. This guy drops arrows, but when you're playing as Rachel, of course, I think we get the elixir from it. So yeah, it drops arrows for us, but that's it. And it's kind of stupid. But then again, you know, Rachel doesn't have a bow and arrow, so she's got to get something out of it, right? So I guess it's fine. It's all good. Anyway, take out these guys if you feel like it. I think you can actually despawn them too if you run off the screen, because there are times where they actually are despawned. They don't respawn until after you die at that checkpoint. Like, if you die, come back to that checkpoint, they respawn every time. It's kind of a dumb, I wouldn't call it beginner's trap, but it's just like a really stupid ass, like, booby trap kind of situation. And the game does that a lot too. Like, if there are enemies that are around a save point and you kill them, you save the game, you know, you do all that, you die, then you come back to that checkpoint, they respawn again. So it's kind of, it's silly that they do that, but, you know, whatever. You just got to put up with them. Of course, you know, every time that I die and I come back to that save point, I'm practically just going to run away because I have no need to really fight them. Well, about 90% of the time, I just don't even care. It's just like you can avoid them for the most part. You can outrun most of these guys, really. It's just like the mandatory fights are the ones that get you. So there's really nothing down here that I can find. There was, of course, you know, the chest that we just opened and the scarab right there on the little corner right there. So, of course, just one near the checkpoint. And just grab those real fast and then, you know, save your game if you need to. I'm going to save it myself because, God forbid, if I don't save it, that's going to suck. So the reason why these guys respawned again is because I did die. So I did die. I don't remember where or when, but I know for sure I can tell that I died. Because there's no way they'd actually respawn unless I did. So come over here. There's a free shop over here, which is nice. Thank God for this too. By the way, I love Muramasa's shop, and I love the upgrade system in this game. Now, they do change it in 2 to where your weapons upgrade, like, one at a time. It's kind of, but, you know, different strokes for different folks, right? So anyway, the first thing you want to do is run straight to the left, because that's where the first grenade launcher guy is going to spawn at. And that's where most of the enemies are going to start spawning at, too. Now, I'm going to head straight to the other side of the screen here, because that's where the next one spawns. And one thing you could do, one thing that's kind of more helpful than actually just running toward him, or, you know, trying to, you know, be more evasive with the grenade launcher guys, is if you run on the wall, you can pretty much get a good little bit of distance in, and kind of just like avoid them altogether, which is nice. It's just like a small little trick that I do, just to avoid grenade launcher attacks. There should be another one spawning, I guess not, huh? Well, I guess that was another enemy that spawns. Oh well. Well, anyway, just, you know, just be on the safe side, just run over there just in case. Because there was, you know, some enemies that do spawn over there, so might as well. But for sure, run straight to the left when you make your way in there, because that's where the first guy's at, so. Unless he wasn't a grenade launcher enemy, I'm thinking something else. I can't really tell from here. They all look the same. You know, the white and the tan all look the same to me. It's just, it's too bright. So anyway, these guys can also be despawned as well. You don't have to fight them. I think I do. No, I think I died to these guys, actually. That's what happened. Yeah, I died. And I lost my talisman. I got pissed off and just restarted, so I tried to keep my talisman as long as I could. I do lose it, actually. I do lose my talisman later on, and I will tell you about all that once we get to there. So anyway, right there is the chest for elixirs. As soon as you get out of that alleyway, there's going to be more fire ninjas spawning. The best thing to do is just to Zuna drop them, because that way, you know, they're all pretty much enclosed together, so you can really get some good strikes on them. Now, by the way, the Flying Swallow works, but it's not the best idea to use on them, because whenever you get a Flying Swallow attack on them, make sure you block or just try a different attack right after, because you can't Flying Swallow twice in a row on these guys. It's weird. I don't know why. So anyway, now we gotta deal with these assholes. Luckily for me, this was really lucky for me. They actually jumbled up just in the right spot, so I can hit them that way. Just use Nimpo, cast Nimpo whenever they get close, and then just, you know, burn their shit down. Luckily, a Nimpo essence spawned for me, so I can pick that up later. And there's really no need to use it right now. Now, well, speaking of now, we have to fight these newer enemies. These are the other fiends, these dragon-like fiends. So I'll just call them dragons, I guess, because that's what they look like. They don't really have wings, I know, but still, they're practically like giant lizards. These guys are not terribly too tough. I mean, they are pretty defensive. They have a lot of like retarded, like, you know, I wouldn't say iframes, but they have a lot of stupid ass, you know, plot armor or like super armor on them. It's just annoying. The fire can be blocked, I believe. I could be mistaken, you know. Hopefully it's not like God of War where I can just, you know, I say, oh yeah, block this, and you just get fucked by it. Hopefully, I think you can block it. I don't remember. You can pretty much block almost everything in this game except for throws. But anyway, the best thing to do on these guys is get them to group up in the corner, and then just, you know, go ahead and attack them from the wall. Oh, I guess I lost a talisman here. Oh, I was wrong. Well, then where did I get the other? I must have bought another talisman then. That has to be the only choice. Okay, so I must have bought another talisman, I guess, apparently. So yeah, I guess I fucked up. Oh well, I was getting to a boss fight anyway, so my bad. My bad, I messed up. Those guys are relatively easy. If you get behind them, be careful, because they'll actually turn around and swipe you with their tail. And that's something to be very careful of when you're attacking from behind. So if you want to go old Bowser style on their ass, you totally can if you wanted to. Oh man, I can't believe I fucked up like twice or 3 times in this whole entire guide already. I just don't know. I don't remember. I had a talisman. I know I did. So I assumed it was that one. You know, my bad. Now, this is the first of this boss fight. He actually is more aggressive in Master Ninja mode, as you can tell. Because, like, I believe in the original, like, normal or hard or whatever, he didn't really spew out that green slime at first. At least I didn't think he would. I didn't think he was. And then the Master Ninja, he just does it automatically. I think it's like I thought it was a phase thing, but apparently not. So, when it comes to fighting him, just Flying Swallow the tentacles, just be a little bit aggressive with it, because he does have like this swiping attack that he does after you land a hit, and just, you know, evade out of there and then just go right back in. That's all you gotta really do with it. Excuse me, sorry. That's all you really gotta do to him. So, every time you chop up a tentacle, it does drop a blue essence, which you can use. Don't worry about using like a UT. One trick to do is, like, don't do a Flying Swallow. Flying Swallow doesn't really do that much damage. what I recommend you do, and you'll see me do it later too, is the uppercut attack. If you do like the full throttle like Azuna drop without actually doing the drop itself, if you do the uppercut attack and then you do the square combo in air, that does a hefty amount of damage to him. So I recommend doing that instead of what I was doing. That was just me just being stupid, pretty much, just not learning anything, because that's me for you. I think it takes about 3 or 4 hits to knock off a whole tentacle, so keep count of which one you're hitting. Also, if he swings his hands around, he does actually hit other enemies, so you can use that to your advantage. I don't think he does damage if you block. Yeah, I don't think he actually hurts you if you block it, though. Now, you see here, like, I did do the UT, but it didn't give me enough damage, though. It was a small increment of damage, and it wasn't enough. And unfortunately for me, I got him down to, like, a small bit of health, and I still got fucked by him. But, hey, if you chop at the tentacles, if you actually attack the tentacles, it still does damage. So you could just keep attacking, and then you're done. Anyway, guys, that's the end of Chapter 6, and I will see you all in the next chapter. And as always, take care, everybody.